we're trying to go from infix to postfix, and the operands are the 2 and the 5. The operator is the minus sign, and there's no parentheses in this. There's one thing I want to add for the in Replit. Basically, I want you to your expression might have spaces in it, and if there are any spaces, just ignore them. It's easy. Just if the character is a space, continue. So that's one little addition. Now, so let's just go through the algorithm. Let me get this. So, and I'm just going to put my stack here. Okay. So if it's an operand, you output it. If it's an operator, well, there's some conditions there. And so if it's an operator with higher precedence than what's on the stack, or if the stack's empty, or if the top of the stack is an empty open parenthesis, then you push the operator on the stack. But otherwise, you pop all operators off the stack with greater or equal precedence, and then push this operator on the stack, or until you hit open parenthesis, and then push it on the stack. And so, all right, so here. Said I got this because the touchscreen, then I wasn't using the touchscreen. All right, so the first character is a 2, so it gets outputted. Or in our case, in Replit, you're actually building up a string and then returning that string, but you concatenate it to the string. And then the stack is empty, so the minus sign gets pushed on the stack, and then the 5 is there. At that point, we're done with our loop, and so we just jump to that. It's only on the stack is minus sign, and we're done. That's obviously a real simplistic example, but it's a good place to start. Let's try the next one. So hold on, I should have had this set up beforehand. But so the parenthesis gets pushed on the stack. The next thing is a 2, it gets outputted. The minus sign gets pushed on the stack. And let me slow down. I'm at the minus sign, it's an operator, and the stack, basically the stack has a parenthesis, which is why I pushed on the stack. So I did that. And then the 5 gets outputted. You get to close parentheses. It says pop the stack and output it until the open parentheses is encountered, discarding both parentheses. And so the minus sign gets popped to the stack, and then the open parenthesis gets popped to the stack. And then we're done with that. That was the last character. So we go to this step, and of course the stack is empty, so there's nothing else to do, and we're done. Any questions so far? And just speak up if you do have questions. Let me just check one thing. Okay. All right, it gets a little more complicated. And so once again, stack, output. And A is an operand, so it goes to the output. Plus is operator, gets pushed on the stack. B gets outputted. Now we get to the time sign. And you know your order of operations. So multiplication, first of all, we're at an operator, and the precedence of our operator is greater than that of the stack. So we push our operator onto the stack. And then move on. And then C gets outputted. And then the exponentiation has is greater. So it gets pushed on the stack. D gets outputted. And then at that point, we're done. So now we pop everything off the stack. Of course, in order, the top of the stack is that. And then the time sign. Sorry, I'm running out of room. And then the plus sign. Now, let's check this one because, it should make sense. That it's going to be the same order of operations. If I look at the original, we would have done the exponentiation first, then we would have done multiplication, and finally we would have done the addition. And so if I look at this, if I was trying to evaluate this, I would be, to evaluate this, I'd push things on the stack, if you recall, and when I get to an operator, I pop the top two things off the stack, and so I would be doing c to the power of d, which is the first thing I should have done. Then I get to the times, or if I would do c to the power of d, and then I do b times that result, and then I do a plus that result, or to put another way, the addition applies to a, and the result of all that. So it matches. All right, again, hold on, there you go. Now this one has the same operators, the same operands, but a different order. So you can see the answer is going to be different from the last example. Let me go through it again. And once again, I apologize for not having things labeled already. But, all right. So A goes to the output, exponentiation goes in the stack. B goes to the output, times goes in the, well, no, I'm going too fast. Sorry. Here. So my current thing is the time sign. We haven't run into this yet. So it's an operator, and the precedence is not greater than or equal to. And so it says pop all operators with precedence that is greater than or equal to, and then push current onto the stack. So in this case, I'm supposed to first pop the exponentiation off, then push the times multiplication on the stack. And then the next thing is C. So I push, I'm going to output that. Then plus sign, same rule. It's not greater than, so I pop whatever is greater than off the stack first, which is only one thing, and then push the plus sign on the stack. And then I'm at D, it gets outputted, and then I'm done processing. So I pop everything off the stack and add it to the output, and there you go. All right, let me do for sure this one more. I think we'll just, I'm not going to worry about that one. All right. I'm just going to go through it. Okay, so open parenthesis gets pushed on the stack. A gets outputted. Addition gets pushed on the stack. B gets outputted. Close parentheses means I pop everything off the stack until I get to the open parentheses, which is just that. The exponentiation gets pushed on the stack. Once again, if there's either an open, when do you do that? If one side on the stack is less than or equal to in precedence, or it's an empty stack, or there's an open parenthesis on the stack, you just push the new operator on the stack. Then open parenthesis gets pushed on the stack. Yeah, next operand gets outputted, and then the operator gets pushed on the stack because it's open parenthesis there. And then the next operand gets outputted. We get to a closed parenthesis, so we pop everything off the stack up to the open parenthesis. We're done processing the input, and so we do that second loop, which pops everything off the stack, and there we go. Once again, if I looked at the order of operations, it would add A and B first, then subtract 8 minus C, and then do exponentiation from those two answers. Here, it would add A and B first. It would do the subtraction of 8 and C, and then exponentiation would apply to those two results. So we did it right. All right. Any questions? Then let me just say, when you're trying to, write this code, really the algorithm, I feel, kind of lays it out for you. In other words, you have to set up a loop to loop through the whole input expression. here's your ifs and if else's. Frankly, I don't remember how the code is written, how I did it, but like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, like, here, clearly, if it's an operator, you can do one or two things. You have like an embedded if else there. The rest of these could probably just be pre-chaining ifs, because they're separate, they're distinct. It's okay if they're not if else's, but then you might make them all if else's. Then, of course, all this is inside the loop, and then you have this other loop after the first loop.